Us to discuss these developments is retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton. General Newton, thank you for being here on a holiday. I know you could be doing a lot of different things right now. So thank you for being here.
Xavier, I'm delighted to be with you. This is a tough topic, but again, one I think that our viewers and the American people need to be focused on.
Absolutely. Very important to talk about. Well, hundreds of drones obviously descending on Ukraine's capital. We just mentioned it in the largest assault since the war started, right? Why is Russia ramping up attacks while Trump and Zelensky are pushing peace talks?
Well, Xavier, just to underscore your correct commentary on that drone attack, that drone attack actually lasted 13 hours against the capital of Kyiv in Ukraine, and it's the largest, as you mentioned, drone attack on top of those cruise missiles and ballistic missiles against the capital, since the war. We're in the fourth summer of this war, this invasion that Putin levied against Ukraine. But his aim is very clear. He made that clear to President Trump on the phone call on Thursday, Xavier, saying that his aim is to topple the Zelensky government. It is to install, the Soviet-style puppet regime and to really bring Ukraine back into the fold of Russia. And that's clearly what he's trying to pursue here. Meanwhile, he's conducting this war of terror. He's trying to break the will of the Ukrainian people, as well as break the will of the United States, undermine our support, as well as of our NATO allies.
Yeah, I mean, putting it into perspective there, Zelensky taken to X, social media obviously following the overnight assault, calling the strikes deliberately massive. You see it here in cynical. He went on to say large-scale pressure on the Kremlin, particularly from the U.S., is the only thing that could force Russia's hand. I mean, General, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that from Zelensky there?
Well, I think what we need to continue to provide from the president and administration, and really leading from the front regarding NATO, is to provide the arms, especially the defensive arms, to help Ukraine defend itself. As you and I talked at the beginning of the talk here regarding the massive drone strikes and those ballistic missile strikes and so forth. And the only way that the United States is going to support Ukraine and compel Ukraine to really prevail here is to continue to provide military support, but also strong diplomatic support that we saw when President Trump coming out of the NATO summit just a few days or so ago. But this is a war of attrition that I don't see an end in sight at this point. I salute President Trump trying to come up with a negotiated settlement of some kind, but Putin is not going to abide by any type of rules or governance, or in terms of trying to find a negotiated settlement that's not in his favor, as we talked, which is really the aim, Xavier, of toppling Ukraine.
Yeah, and you see these videos playing over and over again. You said 13 hours. President Trump disappointed with Putin following their call, which was just Thursday. Here's what he had to say.
And we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine. And I'm not happy about that. I didn't make any progress with him today at all.
I know it was loud. He's on the tarmac. I'm sure you heard him, though. What impact could their discussion have on Putin's decision to launch this brutal attack on Kyiv?
Well, I think that's just right out of the Putin playbook. Regardless if he had a 3-minute conversation or a 1-hour conversation with President Trump on Thursday, he's still aiming to really go after the will of and totally demoralize the Ukrainian people by launching these relentless attacks. We're in the summer now. It's the 4th summer of the conflict, and he's still, pursuing that objective of the total destruction, or certainly the will of the Ukrainian people, but also trying to destroy any type of military capability, as well as civilian targets, which really leads to, some of their energy infrastructure, some of their commerce, and so forth. Again, I don't believe that Putin is going to have any other aim than trying to destroy Ukraine in that sense. All the while, the tactics are changing dramatically, Xavier. Who would have thought, for instance, that, Russia, with 10,000 armored personnel carriers, are now, in terms of the tactics on the battlefield, are going to be using 200,000 motorcycles to move its troops around. 30,000 North Korean troops are enlisted now to go to the front lines to fight Russia's battle against Ukraine and eastern Ukraine and so forth.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.